ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशताय देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौ भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. It's not started again. Your YouTube link. Okay, started now. All right. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Rakshama Krishna 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 Pahima Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Ram Raghav Rakshama Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahima Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. So once again for today's morning discussion on the series called as Be a Sadhaka. We are studying from teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Some very interesting subject matter of discussion for today. Before I begin with it, let's do a quick recap. We are on the first chapter of teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Some of you might want to sign in on the Google, Zoom. I'm going to write so you can see that over there. So the first thing, the very first instruction Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami was about the science of devotion service, and he began to say, he began with speaking about it that devotion service is as vast as ocean, which has no beginning and no end. Where do I begin? Hey Rupa Goswami, rather, let me give you a drop of ocean. May you taste and relish that. Some of you are sitting behind, come here, na. Bring your asanas and sit here. And I'll have to scream otherwise. There's no mic here. So those asanas, you can come and take it here. Oh, that's okay. And then when he began to discuss that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about the rarity of bhakti by explaining about, the unlimited living entities classified into Nitya Baddha and Nitya Muktas, and among Nitya Baddhas, moving and non-moving. Rest of the details are there. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about process of devotional service, and to explain that, Hare Krishna, my colors are not coming. Okay, not coming, fine. And then he began to speak about how does this whole bhakti works. And he gave an example of a gardener sowing a seed in the field. Like that, it kind of begins with you nurture the seed by water. Water refers to here as our hearing and chanting. Seed refers to Bhakti Lata Beach. And you all know about those things. I guess we do this is what we do. When you grow the plant, when the seed fructifies, along with that weed, and also there's a fear of wild animals attacking and destroying the plant. That refers to 10 offenses, and the weeds refers to material desires, and we nourish it regularly by hearing and chanting. And when the plant grows, then it crosses, it breaks through the shell of this material environment or material atmosphere, and then enters into Goloka Vrindavan at the feet of Lord Sri Krishna, where the fruit of our bhakti is offered to Krishna like this. Then the fourth point was definition of pure devotion service. Anya Bhilashita Ashunyam Jnana Karma Dinavra Anakulyena Krishnanu Shilana Bhakti Uttamaha. And what is the nature of pure devotee? Exclusive devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Then the sixth instruction was stages of bhakti, sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana. Nature of ecstasy, the 13 symptoms were described, dancing, clapping, thundering, etc., etc. When somebody is absorbed in remembering Krishna. And then the last subject matter yesterday was transcendental rasa. We have 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas were described. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vasalya, and Madhurya rasa. Now let's talk about categories of attachment to Krishna. I will briefly speak about it and then we'll take a look at it ahead. So we are talking about the 9th point, attachment to Krishna. There are 2 types of it. You can call it 2 broad categories of attachment to Krishna. Yes, finally I got the colors. Yes. First is and awe and reverence. Yeah, you can call it that way. And second type of attachment to Krishna is of intense love. Now there are 5 primary rasas. What are those 5 primary rasas? Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vasalya, and the conjugal affair or Madhurya. Now, each of these rasas in increasing order, the transcendental emotions and ecstasy increases when we go from one stage to another stage. I'll just 1 second. Oh, Sanatana Swami. So each stage is categorized by a particular transcendental quality. Each stage has a particular transcendental quality. However, what you have in Shanta, that is also in Dasya, plus 1 more transcendental quality. What you have in Dasya, plus 1 more quality in Sakhya. And what you have in up to Sakhya, plus 1 is Vasalya, and then similarly up to Vasalya, and then plus 1 is Madhurya. So what are these qualities? So awe and reverence generally refers to Shantaras. And also we can categorize here Shantaras as well as Dasya. The quality that exists in Shantaras is of greatness, which means, oh, Krishna is so great. There is no other emotion involved. There is no intimacy. There is no love here. There's only Bhagwan Bahut Mahan hai. Let me give an example what it means by greatness. Just like imagine you have your favorite star or cricket star or film star. Let's say he happened to come suddenly in front of you. You like immediately have the sense of, oh, how great is he? Yes or no? Or let's say you stand at the foothill of Himalaya, the towering high Himalayas, when you look at it, you'll feel like I'm so tiny, insignificant in front of this great Himalayas. That's a feeling of Shantaras. Now, when you talk about Dasya, here the another quality apart from greatness, of course, that is awe and reverence. There's 1 more quality here. Now, this is where you have developed some affection for Krishna. This is a stage when affection begins. When affection has been developed, then here the transcendental quality of seva gets added. So here an individual performs seva in the mood of awe and reverence. Example is Hanumanji. Example is Dwarkavasis. Example is Mathuravasi. Example is Ayodhyavasis or Vaikuntavasis. Then when the love further increases, it becomes more intense. So here comes your Sakhya plus Vasalya plus Madhurya Rasa or the relationship. In Sakhya, the awe and reverence, Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead. The Seva Bhav is there. Now, in Sakhya, you have a sense of intimacy. तो यहाँ पे intimacy बढ़ जाती है, but without awe and reverence. And this is like Madhu Mangal, Sri Dhama, etc. So you're very close to Krishna. Krishna is very close to you. But now that awe and reverence is missing. That's the reason this is second level of attachment to Krishna. Now, when you move in Vasalya, another quality gets added here. And that is of Krishna is dependent on me. where the devotee in Vatsalya Bhav thinks, without me, Krishna cannot maintain himself. I need to provide for Krishna. In other words, is dependent on my mercy. Like that, that's the mood develops here. And then finally, we have for Madhurya, which Prabhupada have not mentioned here. So I'll keep it on hold right now. Is that okay? Now, for Nanda Baba and for Yashoda, they cannot relate with Krishna except for Vasalya, despite Garga Muni telling him, despite Narada Muni telling them that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead, yet they could only relate with Krishna with Vasalya, which means he is my child and he needs to be taken care. So that's how the intensity of love increases in different relationship with the Lord. Shanta example is like grasses of Vrindavan, it is said to be, or many other individuals who are actually worshippers of Paramatma or Super Soul. They're like, okay, this God is great, we are insignificant, all right, that's a relationship, but there is no love, so service doesn't begin. Then comes Dasya, classic example is Hanumanji, where awe and reverence for the Lord. Along with that, there is an affection for the Lord, so natural, which comes to serve the Lord. Then comes Sakya, Madhumangal, Sridhama, many other of that. They'll have a more intensity of love for Krishna, so much so that intensity of love have made them forgotten that Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality Godhead. In other words, they don't have awe and reverence. Otherwise, how can you have Sakya relationship? How can you have a friend? Just like Arjuna before the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was in Sakyaras, and he's always in Sakyaras. But just to give an example, the moment 11th chapter, Krishna showed his universal form, he went into Shantaras, not even Dasyaras, he went to Shantaras. He went onto his knees, folded his hand, he said, I'm traveling up, Lord, please take. And then he came into Dasya Bhav. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why camera feed is not coming? It's coming. Hare Krishna. Somehow Zoom got hanged. So I don't know what happened. TK, what we were talking about? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually revealed this secrets of relationships, which even in prior paramparas were not available. Like Sri Samprada. Hare Krishna, yeah. Even in Madhvacharya, Madhva lineage, generally the mood of relationship with the Lord, Rasa had been up to Dasya. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who introduced the concept of Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Ras. So this is how, in different ways, we can develop relation with the Lord. Let's read it now. So I'll enable the screen sharing. Oh, somehow, somebody's co-host here? Okay, my Zoom is acting weirdly fine. All right, so I'll start reading now. I am on page number 37 on my book. Attachment to Krishna can also be broken down into two categories. On one platform, there is attachment with awe and reverence. This type of attachment might be characterized by a certain lack of freedom. So, what's the issue? What's the issue with awe and reverence? That's something I can. Okay, I'll not touch my Zoom now. Something is wrong with the Zoom. I'll just speak. So, with awe and reverence, there is limited freedom. Owing to the fact because of limited freedom, now devotee cannot really, relate with Krishna in all various, rasas, because there is a certain sense of awe and reverence which restricts what you can speak, how much you can speak, and how you can relate. That's the point. So your freedom is checked. And this is exhibited largely in Mathura, Vaikuntha planets, and Dwarka like this. In this abodes of the Lord, the spirit of transcendental loving service is restricted. Mother Pallavi, are you there? I was told you will be sharing screens, so screen sharing is enabled. If in case you want to do, Mother Mithavan is not here today. All right. However, in Gokul, Vrindavan, love is freely exchanged. And although the cowherd boys and damsels of Vrindavan know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they do not show awe and reverence because of the great intimacy of their relationship with Krishna. In the five principal transcendental relationships, awe and veneration are sometimes impediments obscuring the Lord's actual greatness, and sometimes they actually impede one's service to the Lord. When there is friendship, paternal affection, and conjugal love, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, such awe and reverence are reduced. Imagine if Nanda Baba has to have that awe and reverence, how would he chastise Krishna? How would Mother Yashoda tell Krishna, Krishna, get the paduka of your father? He has to go out. And Krishna would run and take the paduka on his head and will run to Nand Baba. Baba, Baba, aapka paduka. So this just cannot possible. So that intimacy allows this kind of relationship to happen. His parents prayed. For instance, when Krishna appeared as a son of Vasudeva and Devaki, sorry, his parents prayed to the Lord with awe and veneration because they understood that the Supreme Lord Krishna Vishnu had appeared before them as a little child. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto 44th chapter verse number 51. Although the Supreme Lord was present as a child, Devaki and Vasudeva began to pray to him. Similarly, when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, he was so afraid that he begged pardon for his dealings with Krishna as an intimate friend. As a friend, Arjuna often behaved unceremoniously with the Lord, and upon seeing the awesome universal form, Arjuna said. So here, two verses are quoted from the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And when Arjuna saw and he realized the greatness of the Lord, he fell on his feet and he began to regret. Oh, how can I behave with Krishna like this? And with that mood of repentance, Arjuna says, Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadava he Sakheti ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Maya pramadat मतलब मैंने अपने पागलपन में I have called you Krishna. मैंने आपको यदुवंश का एक वंशज समझा है. मैंने सखा कह के आपको संबोधित किया है. क्या क्या नहीं करा है. अपनी अज्ञानता में आपकी महानता को भूल गया हूं. यच्छावसाथम असत्कृतोसी विहार शय्यासन भोजनेषु एको तवाप्यच्युत तत् समक्षम तस्यामहे त्वामहम अप्रमेयम. Because I didn't know about your greatness, I would walk along with you. I'll go on, travel along with you. Vihara, Shayya asana. I'll sit with you on the same asana. Sometimes we'll sleep on the same bed. Bhojaneshu will eat from the same plate like this, not knowing your greatness, who you are. I have performed so many offenses. Reading the next paragraph. Similarly, when Krishna was playing jokes on Rukmani, she feared that Krishna might leave her and became so perturbed that she dropped the fan which she was fanning him and fainted, falling unconscious on the floor. As far as Yashoda, Krishna's mother in Vrindavan, is concerned, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter 8, 10th canto, 8 chapter, verse 45. Just to speak about what happened with Rohini Rukmani pastime. So it's a dedicated chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna wanted to have some fun with Rukmani. Among all the queens, Rukmani is the eldest queen, and she was the most obedient, sober, mild nature. In other words, in any relationship of husband-wife, if a wife is, or if your partner is mild, obedient, very sober, then that relationship at times becomes boring. There's no fun, there's no adventure. Fun and adventure comes when there is little arguments. And Rukmani would never argue. She would never say anything. Whatever Krishna says, so be it. So Krishna said, let's have some fun today. And he wanted to have some funny pastime. And Rukmani's response to Krishna's words created a horror pastime for Krishna. Where Krishna began to say, Arey Rukmani, what is good in me? I am a son of a Gwala. You are a queen. You are the most beautiful queen. You made a mistake. You should not have got married to me. I am not worthy of you. I am useless. Still, there is a time. You can go and find somebody else. When Krishna, I'm just giving you a synopsis. When Krishna said like this, Rukmani couldn't just tolerate the idea. Krishna saying, you can go and find somebody else. And she fainted. Krishna was thinking Rukmani would argue, would fight with him, just like, what's the name of our Satyabhama? Or she would like Shatrani, strong-headed. She would not. So Krishna thought, I'll have some fun. I'll tease Rukmani. And Rukmani was just fanning, and she heard like this, and she collapsed. And Krishna Krishna became frightful. What happened? I thought we'll have some argument. So that's a passing. So in other words, why this is mentioned is because Rukmani, in awe and veneration, in that mood, when she saw Krishna saying, go away, find somebody else, she just collapsed. She couldn't tolerate. Whereas others wouldn't have done that. Now here, Prabhupada is quoting now example of Mother Yashoda. And a verse is quoted from 10th canto. I leave the translation. The personality of God is worshipped by all the Vedas and Upanishads as well as by the Sankhya system, philosophy, and all authorized scriptures, was considered to be born in her womb. It is also stated in Bhagavatam 10, 9, 12 that Mother Yashoda bound the child Krishna with a rope as if he were an ordinary son born of her body. Similarly, the other descriptions of Krishna being treated as ordinary person. So, awe and veneration have been described up to the example of Rukmani. Now, we are going to from Dwarka to Vrindavan. When you enter Vrindavan, everyone loves Krishna dearly. Yet, their intelligence is covered with the fact that Krishna is a Supreme Personality Godhead. They don't see him as a Supreme Personality Godhead. Because when you see him that way, then how can you put your hand across the shoulder of Krishna? How can you climb up on the shoulder of Krishna and tell Krishna, okay, now you carry me? That's how Gopas will play. So now the relationship, the other attachment, where there is more intimacy and less awe and reverence is described. A pastime of playing with Gopas. Indeed, when Krishna was defeated in games with his friends, the cowherd boys, Krishna would carry them, notably Sridhama on his shoulders, like the thing I was mentioning. Now, Prabhupada, not Prabhupada actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking about, Sakya has been described, Vatsalya has been described, now Madhurya will be described. Relationship between gopis and Krishna. And among that, Srimati Radharani. Now we'll have discussion on that. This is from some of the most famous chapters in the pastime, and the esoteric pastime of 10th canto. Regarding the dealings of the gopis with Sri Krishna in Vrindavan, it is described, 10th canto, 30th chapter, that when Sri Krishna took Srimati Radharani alone from the Rasa dance, she thought that Krishna had left all the other gopis. Although they were equally beautiful, he satisfied her in this way, and she began to think proudly, my dear Lord Krishna has left the beautiful gopis and he's satisfied with me alone. So a little pride came in the heart of Shri Radhika. That's what the whole story. And in the forest, she told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, I'm unable to walk anymore. Can you carry me on your lap like this, or in your hands? If you like, you can take me wherever you desire." Krishna said, "All right, please climb up on my shoulder." And as soon as he said this, Krishna disappeared. Whereupon Shri Radhika then greatly regretted. Where did Krishna went away? When Krishna disappeared from the scene of the rasa dance, all the gopis began to repent, saying, "Dear Krishna, we have come here, have left aside our husbands, sons, relatives, brothers, and friends, neglecting their advice. We have come to you. You best know the reason for our coming here. You know that we have come because we are captivated by the sweet sound of your flute. But you are so cunning that in the dead of night you have left girls and women like us. This is not very good for you." The word shama means controlling the mind, keeping it from being diverted in various ways by fixing it on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one's mind is fixed on the Supreme Lord, he is known to be situated on the Shama platform. On that platform, the devotees understand that Krishna is the basic principle behind everything that is within one's experience. I hope, because there's no screen sharing, all of you have a copy of Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise, God knows how much you'll understand. You might just space out if you don't have your eyes reading through it. Yes, Mother Pallavi. So please share. You should have shared long ago. Maybe you joined a little late. Please go ahead and share the screen. Such a person can understand that Krishna is present. Shama, yeah. When one's mind is fixed on the Supreme Lord, he is known to be situated on the Shama platform. On that platform, the devotee understands Krishna is the basic principle behind everything that is within one's experience. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, verse number 19. Such a person can understand that Krishna is present in everything and is distributed all over the cosmic manifestation. Although everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord and situated in the energy, everything is nonetheless different from Krishna in his personal form. It is also stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Mother, you have to go down. Next paragraph. You're way behind. Yeah, regarding the gopis. Wait. Ab jade niche chale gaye. Go up. You see this verse, 11:19:36? Just scroll it down. That's it. Pause. Just pause here. I'm just coming to the verse in a second. Just stay here. So those of you who can see the screen, the verse is given. A fourth line above it is from where I'm reading it. I have the ability to mark. No, I can't mark, right? How do I annotate? I'll focus on what I'm doing. All right. So it is stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that one who understands this, whose intelligence fixed on Krishna, has attained the platform of Shama. Moreover, the Supreme Personality of God says, Shama manishtata buddhihi. Let's go to the verse. I'll explain from there. Let's take a look at the verse. Shama manishtata buddhi dama indriya samyamaha titiksha dukha sammarsho jivva upasha jayo dritihi. The two words, titiksha and dritihi. We often see this coming in Bhagavad Gita. What is titiksha means? And titiksha has been used along with dukha sammarsho. Dukha sammarsho means the pain or suffering. Titiksha means tolerate. Tolerate the suffering. Tolerate the suffering of what? The suffering that arises from the urges of mind and senses. Not fulfilling those urges, which means tolerating that suffering, is said to be titiksha. So, mata spasha sukhanteya shitoshna sukadukada agama paino nityas tams titikshva bharata. We need to learn to tolerate the whims of our mind and senses. That is titiksha. Dritihi, driti means dhiraha, sober person. Who is sober person? Jivva upashta jayodritihi. One who has gained victory over Jivva and Upashta. What is Jivva? Tongue. What is Upashta? Belly. So we have first verse of NOI. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivva Vegam, Udar, Upashta. Sorry, Upashta is not belly. Upashta is genitals. So one who has controlled, has found, who has brought his tongue and genitals under control is said to be Dhira, a sober person. Bringing tongue under control means what you eat. Vacho is speak, Jiva is to eat. So that's the point. Which who can tolerate the urge of hunger and tolerate the urge of sexual impulse is said to be Dhira. Let's go into the next paragraph. If one fixes his mind, okay, if one fixes his mind on Krishna without deviation, he can attain a steadfast position in Krishna consciousness that is called as Shanta Ras. When one attains Shanta Ras, unflinching faith in Krishna is established and all material desires ceases to exist. Is that clear so far? These specific characteristics of Shanta Ras, which is born of strong faith, unflinching faith in Krishna, and cessation of all desires which are not connected to Krishna, are also common to all other rasas, just as sound is generally present in all other elements, because that is a foundational thing which is created. Next paragraph. When we speak of non-Krishna or desire which has no connection with Krishna, this does not mean that anything exists without Krishna. Actually, there cannot be anything non-Krishna because everything is a product of the energy of Krishna. Since Krishna and his energies are identical, everything is Krishna indirectly. For example, consciousness is common to every living entity. Sorry, I just got distracted. Consciousness is common to every living entity, but when consciousness is purely centered on Krishna consciousness, then Krishna, or when it is direct to sense gratification, it is pure. And when consciousness is centered on something other than Krishna, then, which means to sense gratification, it is called as non-Krishna consciousness. Thus, which is a polluted state, the conception on Krishna. What is being explained here is Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. That's the concept. Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, verse number 2. I am present all over this creation in my unmanifested form. Those who are Krishna conscious, they can experience and see Krishna is everywhere between you and I, between males, in females, etc. Everything, plants, birds, Krishna is everywhere. But whose Chaitanya is absorbed in matter, he cannot understand spiritual, which means he cannot understand Krishna. Krishna is all spiritual. So whose conscious and absorbed in matter, which means who wants to enjoy senses, which is matter. For him, there exists a reality which is minus Krishna. You getting the point? Are you with me? There is an absolute reality where Krishna is everything. And there is another reality which exists, which is not a reality, that is called as Maya, where Krishna is not there. And when this reality or when this illusion becomes reality, when our consciousness is absorbed in matter. When we want to enjoy matter, we cannot understand Krishna. That is the point here of non-Krishna consciousness. Let's move forward. Active interest in Krishna, the understanding that Krishna is mine, or that I am Krishna's, that therefore my business to satisfy the senses of Krishna, is typical of a higher stage than neutrality of Shantaras. So as I explained, this is what has been explained here. Shantaras means Lord is great, but there is no affection and love for God. And there is no love and affection, so there is no service rendered. So Seva Bhav is for a relationship which is greater than Shantaras. That has been described. Now, who practices or who is situated in Shantaras? These are the Paramatmavadis or Brahmavadis. That is what is being described in the rest of the paragraph. And then it is mentioned, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. So these are the Gyanis who later on become Shantaras practitioner, because they have focused on Paramatma or Brahman realization. That is what they get it after a long, long time. Reading the last few lines of this paragraph. At that time, after many, many births worshipping Brahman and Paramatma, when one surrenders unto Vasudev as Supreme Master, accepts him as the eternal servitor of Vasudev, he becomes a great transcendently realized soul. At that time, due to his thick and thin relationship with the Supreme Absolute Truth, one begins to render some sort of transcendental service to him. At that stage, this neutral relationship of Shantaras graduates into Dasyaras. So the transcendental quality that exists in Shantaras is only of awe and reverence. Dasyaras, awe and reverence plus servitorship, transcendental quality. Next paragraph. On the platform of Dasyaras, the greatest quality of awe and reverence of the Supreme Lord is exhibited. In Shantaras, in Dasyaras, the greatness of the Supreme Lord is appreciated. And it should be noted here that on platform of Shantaras, there is no spiritual activity. But on the platform of Dasyaras, Seva begins. Next paragraph. Transcendental qualities are present in Shantaras, Dasyaras. But beyond this, there is another quality, that is intimacy, confidential attachment, which is pure transcendental love. This loving confidence in the Lord is technically called as Vishrambha. On the platform of Vishrambha, fraternity, there is no sense of awe and reverence in the case of Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. In fact, there is a strong sense of attachment to the Lord. And now on the Sakyaras, a third quality, transcendental quality exists. What is that? First, a sense of greatness. Second, sense of service. And the third, sense of intimacy. Krishna is mine. But there is no awe and veneration there. Next paragraph, Prabhupada talks about a transcendental quality which is added further in Vatsalya. Similarly, on the platform of paternal affection, Vatsalayaras, there are 4 qualities in addition to 3 qualities. And what is the fourth? Sense that the Supreme Lord is dependent on the mercy of the devotee. As a parent of the Supreme Personality Godhead, the devotee sometimes chastises the Lord and considers himself to be the Lord's maintainer. This transcendental sense of being the maintainer, the Supreme Maintainer, is very pleasing both to the devotee and to the Supreme Lord. Any example where Lord got into anxiety when he saw Mother Yashoda have lost that mood of chastising Krishna, but now she has bowed down on her feet and offering prayers to Krishna. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How dare I treat you as my child? And the famous pastime of mud eating pastime. Sorry?
Prabhuji, mud eating, that's what.
Yeah. Sorry, sound is very poor here. Yeah, correct. That's a pastime. Mud eating pastime. When Mother Yashoda saw the whole material manifestation in the mouth and the belly of Krishna, and then she saw herself also, she fainted. She thought, oh, he's not some ordinary individual. The Supreme Personality Godhead. And then she was thinking, oh, Garga Acharya said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. That's a pastime. Hare Krishna. Somebody speak.
बढ़िया मम्मी
Huh?
धूप है तेज है
हाँ धूप है
Hare Krishna. All right. Finally, the last paragraph. The Lord instructed Srila Rupa Goswami to write the transcendental literature named Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the science of devotional service, and indicate therein the substance of these 5 transcendental relationships. In other words, those who would like to explore the subject matter more can read Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. It is explained in that great literature how the transcendental relationship of Shantaras, taking the shape of unflinching faith in Krishna, is further developed into Dasya, with the spirit of service, then to Sakhya, with undeterred fraternity, and to the transcendental platform of paternal love, wherein one feels himself to be maintainer of the Lord. All these relationships culminate on the highest platform of Madhurya Ras, wherein all these transcendental relationships exist simultaneously. Hare Krishna. Jaguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Rupa Goswami ki. Hey, what's the time? We have no watch only here. 8:35. Mother, you can close the screen, please. Can you kindly? Yeah, perfect. Oh, I don't know why Zoom is not working here well. All right, so sharing my screen, trying to share it, but it's just not coming. And finally, it has come, but it is not getting clicked. Hopefully, it will come. So here we complete the first chapter, teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami. So today we discuss about categories of attachment to Krishna, which are of two types. And then also the final instruction to Rupa Goswami to write literatures. And this was largely the subject matter that we discussed today. So, which means after Krishna willing, we complete teachings of Lord Chaitanya. I'm pretty sure the suspense continues. What else are the details in these rakas? So, which means it is but natural that we go into detailed study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, verse after verse, and then go into it and understand what it is. And along with that, we'll refer to Srila Prabhupada's summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. All right, so thank you all for your kind attention. We pause here for today's discussion. Anyone has any comments or anything to clarify? We can take one or two inputs.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji. I have a
Can we
question.
also
Can
have
I ask?
darshan of our Vaishnavas who all are here today? Just get to see who all are attending this. Who are interested in transcendental relationship with Krishna. All right, okay. Yes, Mother Prashi, go ahead, please.
Yes. So, Prabhuji, maybe, I didn't notice it properly or what, I don't know. But could you just quickly elaborate about the difference between Shantaras and Dasaras? One thing I got that the difference of activity. Shantaras, there is no activity. Dasaras, there is activity.
You got to
What
stop
others,
walking.
and specifically in context?
You got to stop walking because your voice is breaking.
And
You can just stand you can stand at a place and speak.
yes, Prabhuji.
So
Yes, so I just wanted, I wanted to ask if you can quickly again tell us the difference between Shantaras and Dasaras. So, like, one thing that I understood is there is no activity in Shantaras, and Dasaras there is activity. What
Correct.
others, and specifically in context of Arjuna, when he saw Virat Roop, like, how do we understand that it was Shantaras and not even Dasaras? You mentioned that.
Okay. So Shantaras, which means Krishna is great. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. Generally, this refers to one way is kind of a Brahman realization kind of a thing, but there is more to it where we understand there is a supreme Lord. However, there is no affection here. Dasya begins with when the living entity has developed affection for the Lord, and the symptom of affection is seva. And that's how he begins to render service. Now, coming back to the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna saw the Virat Roop, he was totally terrified. And because that is a form with whom you really cannot reciprocate, have a relationship, because it is not towards Krishna he had developed the Shantaras, it was towards the Virat Roop, because he couldn't relate with, he couldn't just figure it out what's happening with this whole form. There, that sense of neutrality has kind of descended into his consciousness, where he said, "My dear Lord, you're the greatest. I'm terrified seeing this great form, unlimited form of yours like this." So that's how Vishnu Chakra Thakur says he had, out of fear. Greatness means also accompanies with fear. Somebody which is great means you're fearful of that. So that fearfulness have driven him to that platform of Shantaras, where he forgot about his relationship with Sakhiras. And then Arjuna requested Krishna, "My dear Lord, can you please take your two-handed form again?" And when Krishna came back to his two-handed form, then the Sakhya Bhava Arjuna came back again, like this. Is that
So
clear?
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji, but in Shantaras also, service is there, no? They are serving Krishna in some or the other way, or
What
not?
example do you have?
Means I don't know. I remember I heard it, but I may be wrong. But let us say the trees and the trees in, let us say, Golok
Correct, correct,
Vrindavan.
correct.
So they are serving in Shantaras. That is my understanding. Is it
No.
right or
There
wrong?
is no service in Shantaras. That's what we just read, right? We
So the
discussed that
trees
right
and
now.
all non-moving things in Goloka, they are also in Dasyaras.
Okay, this is something now. This is largely, I would say, half knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge.
Yes, Prabhuji. That is
So
why
what
I'm
happens
clearing.
here? No. I mean, I'm not saying for you. In general, I'm saying
Hmm.
because ये hearsay वाली बात है. थोड़ा सुना है और बाकी हमारा एक interpolation है. When you say trees, we see the pastime when Krishna will enter the forest. Trees will bow down, offer respect, will shed the tree, will should shed their leaves, and it will become, grassy patch of land where Krishna can walk. Krishna, their trees are serving. They are not in that way is defined necessarily in a Shanta Bhav. There
Okay.
are trees in Vrindavan is said to be in Shanta Bhav, which means Krishna is great. Vrindavan is not limited to few trees. So an example could have been given of Shanta rases, the trees, the grass, the creepers, because they're not actively engaged in serving the Lord. That way it is. But there could be an individual also who
Okay.
could be in a Shanta ras.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
situation was of Arjuna. And here, which is mentioned again, this is a subject matter of, in fact, the names of individuals are also given Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, which means Paramatma Vadis. They are in Shantaras.
Yes. Okay.
Brahmavadis, they are in Shantaras.
The
God
second
is
level of
just like
realization is in Shantaras.
Ishopanishad is actually about Shantaras. The prayers which have been mentioned in the end, if you see, my dear Lord, please remember whatever we have done for you. Is more on the mood that there's no bhakti there. Therefore, we mentioned this is more of, Shanta ras. There's no as such of relationship with the Lord, where we are reminding the Lord, please remember whatever we have done for you. So you take care of us at the time of death. And Shanta
Yes,
ras graduates to Dasya ras when an affection develops, and symptom of affection is service. If you have affection, then service is but natural. And then it continues forward to Sakya, Vasalya, and Madhurya's.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Only an introduction has happened. For more details, refer Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Or for more details, wait until the time we start reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Nitai
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Dhanvat Pranam Prabhu. Sorry, I can't switch on my camera.
No worries.
So thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. So my question is related to the last paragraph that we read, where it's been mentioned that the Sri Rupa Goswami write this transcendental literature, and he explained that how one transcends from Shantaras to Dasya to Sakya, and then further on. So is it that one basically moves from this different journey of the rasa, or one always remain in a one set of rasa?
No, it's not like you remain in one rasa. And it is not like when you go to Goloka Vrindavan, you move from Shant to Dasya, Dasya to Sakya. It is not like this. It is on the stage of sadhana, at the stage of when we are practicing, what mood you develop for yourself. And this becomes more clear at the Raganuga stage. So that's where the Raganuga stage in itself means, developing a strong attachment. The quality of Raganuga stage is developing a strong attachment for some Brajavasi. And it is not you have intentionally done it, but it is naturally developed for you. You're attracted to that Ragatmika Bhakta. And now you want to develop your relationship towards the Lord in the same mood of that Ragatmika Bhakta. And now you realize so first that realization of who is that individual, that could be Sakya Bhav, that could be in a Madhurya Bhav, that could be in Vasalya Bhav, and that could be in Dasya Bhav also. So as long as we are on Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, our practice happens on the platform of Dasya. We are the servant, Krishna is the master. But at Raganuga stage, then the rules and regulations little differ. So it is firmly getting situated in what mood or in what way we relate to Krishna. Not that once you have perfected your life, then also you can keep changing. At least I have no idea of that. I have not read or heard about it in that relation. We can explore more in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu later on chapters when this kind of discussion happens. But my understanding as of now is once you realize your relationship in particular rasa, then you're firmly situated. Otherwise, which means you're dissatisfied and then you're still hankering for more. And the perfect example you can say is of Gopakumar. Gopakumar was not satisfied after reaching Dwarka also. And finally, Narad Muni sent him back to this world to take shelter of Ragatmika Bhakta so that he can go to Goloka Vrindavan. And he found out himself to be more perfectly situated in a Sakhya ras. And that's how he cultivated that. And finally, he went to Goloka Vrindavan where he was, perfectly situated in that relationship. Fine.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
All right. I will have to pause here now. If there are questions, we can take it tomorrow. Or else, please read Srila Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for more explorations. Okay. There are a couple of hands up. I don't know if this is for questions for reading, but probably I'm assuming this is for reading now. Class is ended. All right. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.